We have a storyteller extraordinaire on the stage right now. Let's give it up for Steve Pressler, everybody. Yeah. I'm going to do a round two on that. I said let's give it up for Steve Pressler. There we are.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
You're good, Steve.
Let's see, if you go to 6th and Trinity and then go north to 7th and then take a right turn and walk a little ways, there was a place called the California Hotel. It was a 2-story stone building with a front desk and a soup kitchen and rental space. And there was a poetry event there one evening entitled War and Peace. I'm not sure who won out, but I wrote my poem about the evening's event entitled Parade of Poets. Upon the stage there came the poets, strutting out their stuff. The proper poets, pathetic poets, aggressive, peripatetic poets. The violent poets had a fight, angry poets disapproved. Droll poets rolled a stone, arrogant poets swagged around. The drunken poets had arrived, stirred the crowd with drunken jive. But then we saw the insidious poet, who crept the stage with paper bag and manuscript, though in the bag a knife and a gun and a piece of chain to scare the crowd on his refrain. And he crept about to them cocksure, spoke as if only he knew all that stuff on World War II, and waved his lumpy bag about, oped his mouth, began to shout. The audience had truly learned, oh, haven't these guys got some gas to burn? Stuck his hand into the bag, pulled a knife, stabbed into a post, pulled a .32, and waved it at the audience. Oh, you'd better get it straight. The mothers and their kids drew back. Guys and gals stood up. And old Steve Wallace, a tough and true South Texas Democrat, said, "Hey man, that thing better not be loaded." His voice alone rattled window and wall. And that's a pretty cheap trick, and I could say less what you call a poem. That poet blushed Caucasian red, took his knife and gun and bag of poems and fled, and left the stage to the poet of war and bandoliers, red hot jumpsuit and paratrooper's boots, roaring forth his metaphor. But our man of the hour, he was old Steve Wallace. He called a bluff and laid the piece. Thank you.
One more.
The Old Architect. The inspiration came for this poem at a little coffee place at Enfield and Lamar. And looking out to the east, you can see the skyline of the city. The Old Architect. Through that yonder window, there is a pearly granite dome that seems to cast around the town its antique charm to modern times. Somewhat closer rise the peaks of Alma Mater and her widely arched biology classroom window. Other styles are found in other buildings, all buildings above trees. It frames as a painting would pose, buildings tops and buildings hats, and space through space is endless, and the light and air are free, and their pattern Romanesque. Who minds these stony lines? Who loves them more in passing by? But the old architect, eye to sky, foot measure the worn walkway, and his cane tracing an endless T-square. Though never one to mind just how far away from Parthenon or Florentine or an echo Bauhaus ruined of ancient Greek. That really happened. And so did the other one. Sometimes you don't even have to think these things. You can just open your eyes and ears and let's see. My undergraduate years were at Harvard, that is Harvard on the Mississippi, otherwise named Washington University of St. Louis. And when the architecture students deigned to invite us art students to their fall party, where they put on quite a display of conversational, egregious conversation of where the old professor said, students, you want to learn, you got to question. And sooner or later we figured out, Professor Lasky, what about the answers? So their visiting professor was at the party. He was from Yugoslavia, and he was there with his wife, and they were cornered by the architecture students, and this man was an architect of bridges built over some of this world's most difficult terrain. Challenged with such brilliant questions as, and the title of my poem, but what is a bridge? What is a bridge? What, Mr. Wright, is a building? What, Mr. Casals, is a cello? Well, and I wondered about this, and so I wrote, and the title of my poem, but what is a bridge? A bridge is a platform standing on legs or hanging from ropes, usually over a ditch of various size and length, swooping a body of water. And where there's an excess of roadway, may ride the flat lands over the miles, and the miles as flat as can be. A bridge can continue so level, over a waterway deep, can curve, rise, or turn in its sleep, allowing the passage of boats beneath. A bridge could be a line of slippery stones, algae crowned and slipping you down a laughing, bubbling creek. A bridge could be a line of ice for polar bears finding it nice. A bridge could be a word that ties us to the past. Bridges of the future come and go on footways of the past, but rarely yet, if ever, on a bridge would we turn about face. Suffice it yet to say that like a road to futures past, the bridge would take a flow of feet, travel over this flowing creek as a cousin to the road question, who designs the bridge, those who stay or those who seek? So now about our bridge to stars, how long will we ask in eon's time? Questions like the muff of moss waving in the stream, that in our wandering would we go or linger. But oh, them bridges to the stars are like the thoughts of one who thought to live upon the odds in clever ways had lain behind. A low drooping line spanning the gorge, So let us walk the mighty bridge and linger in the middle and hear the roaring sound below, and let the sound unite us all in what we are and ever hope to be. Thank you.